After round 16, the verdict is in. Chris Judd sent straight to the tribunal. Hello everyone, Matt Thompson with you. Mark Fraser is the chairman of the match review panel. Well, Mark, it's been the big story of the weekend. How closely did you look at this before making the call?
Yeah, we looked at it very closely. We had a discussion amongst the panel with Des and Brian and myself, and we talked about rough conduct or misconduct, and we decided that this would probably be best served under misconduct. We thought there was unsportsmanlike in nature, Chris Judd's conduct, and has the potential to bring the game into disrepute, so we thought that it would be better served by sending it straight to the tribunal for a verdict.
Judd cannot accept an early plea, go straight to the tribunal, as you say. Misconduct is the charge. Did you consider at all grading this yourselves?
Yeah, we certainly did, but we thought that this wasn't, I suppose, a conduct that was covered under the table of offences particularly well. So there are other acts of misconduct in the table, such as stomping and pinching and spitting and things like that. And we thought that it would be better off served going to the tribunal for a verdict.
Yeah, it certainly is a unique one. There's been a lot of talk today about the medical report. What kind of impact did that have in terms of your assessment?
Obviously, the medical we take into consideration, seeing whether there's been any injury to the player. In this case, there was an exacerbation of an injury, and he did have to go from the ground, as everybody could see, and get treated by the medical staff. So we thought there was enough force in there for something to be done about it.
All right, we'll see what happens when this goes before the tribunal. Also out of this game, North Melbourne's Jack Ziebell has been booked for rough conduct against Aaron Joseph. He can accept 3 matches. He risks 4 if he fights and loses. Had a bad record, carryover points, negligent, high impact and high contact.
Yeah, you see Joseph's running to get the handball, and then Ziebell jumps into the air and he tucks his right arm in and makes forceful high contact to Joseph. Whilst Ziebell does touch the ball, we didn't believe that it was a legitimate attempt to go for the footy to take possession or to spoil the ball, and we thought that that was more a negligent rough conduct act.
He was looking at the ball right through. Did that work in his favour at all? And remembering here that the 3-week ban is primarily, or not primarily, but in part because of his bad record as well. Yeah,
it certainly does go to looking at what he was trying to do, so that's why we graded him negligent. So often when people jump in the air like that and make the high contact, it's more of a reckless nature, whereas we thought that because there was that looking at the ball, that it was more negligent in nature.
Another case that's been a real talking point, Michael Jamieson. Knees into the back here of Drew Petrie. You've decided against charging him. Why?
Yeah, with that, you can see Jamieson comes late into the contest and lands on Petrie's back. He slides over the top of Petrie rather than going in sort of and really driving the knees in. And whilst that action is potentially reportable, we believe that there wasn't enough impact with that to warrant a charge in this case.
Did he have alternatives in these circumstances? I mean, he could have done some different things rather than sliding in over the top.
You certainly don't need to go down onto the player like that after he's marked the football. So that was why we looked at the incident.
And this kind of incident is something that will come under scrutiny every day of the week?
Oh, absolutely. So with sufficient force of that, that would be a charge from us.
So could you go as far as saying he was lucky?
Yes, he is lucky.
From the Lions, Daniel Rich facing 2 matches out of this one, sending Clinton Jones, as we know, into the fence at the Gabba. It's been deemed intentional, medium impact and body contact.
Yeah, here with this one, Jones handballs the ball and then goes over the boundary line. As both players are, when they're over the line, then Rich pushes him into the fence. And he injured his elbow in that and had to be taken from the field with the blood rule a bit later on. He did return to play, but we believe that that sort of action is unreasonable and unnecessary, and so therefore a charge of rough conduct. We thought that the actual impact was fairly low, but the potential to cause injury was quite high there, so we graded it as a medium impact. Yeah,
another unusual one, and that is a significant point. You've taken it a step up because of the potential for injury in such unique circumstances.
Oh yes, with that you could certainly see a push into the fence could do some major damage to somebody, so we think that's a hell of a lot worse.
Also from the Lions, a 1-week ban offered to Daniel Merritt, charging against Nick Riewoldt, reckless, medium impact and body contact.
Yeah, charging is sort of colliding with an opponent where physical force is unreasonable, and we think that Merritt's done that there. He jumps up sort of into the contest and then makes significant force to Riewoldt's back and sort of pushes ahead and goes forward and through with it rather than sort of backing off and trying to lessen the blow a little bit. The medical came back confirming that there was a significant impact there, so we graded as a medium impact.
OK, Danny Stanley from the Suns has been offered a 1-match ban for rough conduct against Jack Riewoldt. Reckless, low impact, high contact.
Yeah, here's Stanley running to the contest and he jumps late into Rewalt and makes forceful high contact. We believe the action reckless as Stanley's not watching the football and jumps late, so he's not making a legitimate attempt to spoil nor take possession of the footy. So yeah, reckless and low impact due to the nature of it. He got up, took his kick, and the medical came back fairly clear.
We've got a reprimand for Patrick McGinnity from the Eagles for this on Ryan O'Keefe. Negligent, low and high.
Yeah, McGinnity and O'Keefe are here running to the ball. McGinnity elects to bump to try and block for his teammate, but bumps O'Keefe high and bumps to the head are reportable. In this case, the high contact wasn't caused by circumstances outside of his control, so he's been charged with rough conduct.
Yeah, it's the duty of care thing here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. When you do elect to bump somebody, you have a duty of care not to bump them high, and unfortunately he's done that.
All right, sling tackles have been a big focus right through the season. Joel Corey in the clear for this one, though. Why?
Here, Corey certainly drives Blair down into the ground. Luckily, Blair's got his arm free and he sort of stops some of the impact and there's no forceful high contact with that tackle. That, once again, would be something that we'd be looking at every single time, and if there is significant high contact, he would be charged for that. And
so sling tackles are something that you're very much trying to stamp out of the game and something that you're still looking at constantly week after week.
Oh yeah, and as I said, that would be looked at every time. They're very dangerous and they have the potential to cause major injury.
All right, so perhaps another lucky one. Carmichael Hunt, his contact with Bashar Hooley looked at as well. What's the call here?
Yeah, here Hunt comes through and attempts to bump Hooley. Once again, luckily misses with that bump. So you see with this shot here that he goes past Hooley's head and does make some minor contact at the end there, but the majority of the time misses. So minor contact, and we didn't believe that was reportable.
I can see your point there, though. It's really close, isn't it? I mean, if he had been a few millimetres the other way, it could have been quite serious.
Oh yes, most definitely. And medical came back clear from that. So we did check to see whether there's any damage to Hooley with that, but there wasn't. So very lucky.
And also from that game, Trent Cotchin cleared for this on Josh Hall of the Suns. Contact here with an open hand.
Yeah, he was going for the spoil. You can see him jump at the time the ball's coming in, and his eyes are on the footy the whole time, but makes that accidental contact high. Yeah, lucky with this one.
Mark, appreciate your time as always. I would love to ask you for a prediction as to what the tribunal might do with Chris Judd, but I won't, because I know you can't answer that question.
And you won't get one.
Thank you very much for your time, though. Mark Fraser joining us. That is the verdict for this week. As we mentioned off the top, Chris Judd has been sent straight to the tribunal. It's going to be a big case. The other players cited have until 11 o'clock Tuesday morning to decide if they want to challenge their charges at the tribunal. You will find a full report on all of the incidents looked at here online from all of us here at afl.com.au. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon.